Hey guys, it's Aaron here. So, yeah, the first thing you're going to notice is that, yes, I have moved. You know, obviously you can tell this is not the same room. This might be my new setup. I don't know if this is going to be permanent. You can let me know. You can let me know what you think of how this looks. You can kind of see like half of one of my shelves. Yeah, so I'm here to talk about Halloween Kills, the newest Halloween movie. I saw it a few days ago. I wasn't able to see it until a few days ago, so that's why this review is so late. So, Halloween Kills has been a pretty divisive movie. A lot of fans are saying that it's one of the worst Halloween movies. A lot of fans are saying it's one of the best Halloween movies. So I kind of say in comparison, it's kind of like the Star Wars The Last Jedi, in that, like The Last Jedi, it's very divisive. With The Last Jedi, people either thought it was like the worst Star Wars movie ever made, or people thought it was like the best Star Wars movie ever made. And it's the same with Halloween Kills. Now, what did I think of it? I thought it was pretty decent. I'm kind of in the middle of the argument, just like kind of how I was for the Last Jedi. I didn't think The Last Jedi was the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, but I also didn't think it was one of the worst. I was kind of in the middle. And with Halloween Kills, again, I'm in the middle. So I don't really have a script for this video. This is just something that I'm gonna be, I'm just gonna talk off the top of my head and give you guys my thoughts. I've only seen the film once, keep in mind, so if I left anything out or if I forgot about something, my apologies. Yeah, so here we go. Like I said, I thought this movie was pretty decent. It's nowhere near the best Halloween movie, but it's nowhere near the worst Halloween movie. I think there are positives and negatives about this movie. I agree with some of the things that people are saying are bad about the movie, and I also agree with some of the things people are saying are good about the movie. The opening scene for the movie is really, really good. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, it opens on Cameron after the last film, after the dance, and what he did to Alison, and he finds Officer Hawkins after he got stabbed. He's sitting on the road, and it flashes back to 1978 at the end of the original Halloween, and the whole flashback is fantastic. And honestly, it's my favorite scene in the entire film. Now that should tell you something about what I thought of the rest of the film, but not that the other scenes were bad in comparison to this one, but it's just that I didn't think any scene after this flashback topped the flashback. I mean, the flashback is my favorite scene in the whole entire movie. You get to see, what happened to Michael, how he was apprehended, how Officer Hawkins apprehended him. However, I do have one little problem with the flashback. I know I just said it was fantastic, and it is, but the one minor problem I have is, why do they stop and just not... Why do they finish the flashback later on in the movie? Like, the opening credits with the pumpkin, again, it's great. The opening credits are great, but I think the scene was cut short just a little too soon. I mean, like, the credits happen, and it's when Michael is standing outside, and he's being surrounded by police officers, and then it just cuts to the opening credits. Like, I felt that was very weird. Like, I mean, like, we know he was apprehended, but it just didn't finish that scene. I mean, like, they finish the scene later on in the movie when Officer Hawkins is talking to Laurie about what happened that night, and, he's blaming himself. But, so, like, why did we have to wait? I don't understand. Like, why couldn't we just finish the scene and then have the opening credits? I know, I'm spending way too much time on that, but I mean, that's just a minor gripe I have. Another positive I have with this film is the performances. I thought all the performances were awesome. They all did a great job. Laurie, Jamie Lee Curtis does a great job. Karen, Judy Greer does a great job. Like, all the actors do a tremendous job. And that's one of the best things about the film. Now, just so you know, I never watched the final trailer. A lot of people are saying that the final trailer spoiled a lot of things, but I never watched it. So I don't know if they showed Lonnie in the film, but Lonnie's in this film, which is something I was not expecting. I had no idea Lonnie was in this film, and I was quite surprised to see him in the flashback and then as an adult later on in the film. And I thought his inclusion in the film was pretty interesting. I mean, he's Cameron's dad in this film, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Tommy Doyle also comes back, played by Anthony Michael Hall, who does, again, great performance. And the character of Tommy in this film, pretty good for the most part. I mean, I have a few problems with his character, and I'll get to that when I cover in the negatives, but overall, Tommy was pretty good in this film. Also, other returning characters from the 1978 Halloween. Marian Chambers is back, played by the same actress. I'm sorry, I don't know the actress's name, but she's back, and it was cool to see her, but again, there's something negative about her character, and I'll get to that in the negatives, but also, Lindsay Wallace is back, and played by the same actress who played her in the original film. And I knew about that going in, and it was cool to see her. She had some good acting moments. Another positive I have is Michael Myers. He is very scary in this film. James Jude Courtney, once again, does a fantastic job as Michael Myers. I think he's, honestly, it's one of the scariest incarnations of Michael Myers I think we've gotten. And yeah, all the scenes with Michael Myers are great. I mean, well, most of the scenes. Again, I'll get to that later, but most of the scenes involving Michael are great. His kills in this movie are extremely gory, and they were very intense. And I really liked that about this film. I mean, the kills are just... They're so intense. I mean, they're very great. Michael also does kill a lot of people in this film. I think it's one of the highest kill counts of the entire series. I don't know exactly how many people he killed, but it's very high. But unfortunately, that's where the positives end, because now I'm going to get into the negatives. And there are quite a few of them. Halloween Kills is far from a perfect movie, and it's far from being the best sequel. I think you already know that, obviously this is not as good as the 1978 film. It's still my favorite. But yeah, it's still far from the best sequel. And yeah, so like I said, my first negative was with that flashback where they chose to finish the scene later on. And by the way, I forgot to mention Dr. Loomis. You get to see Dr. Loomis in that flashback, which they did a very good job with. Again, that's a positive. But yeah, so my negatives, the characters they brought back from the 1978 film, some of them work well, but some of them don't. I thought Tommy, again, his inclusion, he was pretty good for the most part. He does have a stupid moment where, and this goes for like the entire kind of a stupid moment for the entire movie. So a lot of people have talked about this when that mental patient walks into the hospital and everybody assumes he's Michael. Yeah, it's a bit silly. I mean, I don't think it's as bad as some people are saying it is, but I can definitely understand people's complaints. I mean, like, why would they think that's Michael? And especially Tommy. I mean, that's the part that really got me. Why would Tommy think that that's Michael? I mean, he saw Michael when he was a kid, and he's not like a fat guy. He's a tall, thin guy. So, and Tommy brings up a point, like, later on, how are we supposed to know if it was Michael? He wears a mask. Well, I don't know. Maybe look at his physical appearance? I mean, why... that part was dumb to me. So yeah, and there's a lot of kind of dumb moments in this movie, And I'll get to that, and there's a very dumb moment later on, but I'll get to that later. So, and Lonnie coming back, again, the actor did a good job, and I liked his inclusion. However, he's killed off, and actually a lot of the characters they brought back were killed off, but again, I'll get to that in a second. But Lonnie's killed off. He walks into the Myers house by himself, which a lot of people thought was stupid. But I understand. Like, he's trying to protect Alison and Cameron. Like, I understand it. But like, he goes in by himself and he gets killed by Michael. So Lonnie, he had a kind of a major role, but in the end he's kind of killed off. So I thought they didn't really do a lot with his character, but however, the characters they really didn't do a lot with were Marian and Lindsay. Lindsay barely has any screen time. So Marian doesn't have barely any screen time at all as well. Marian is killed off in it's pretty pointless. I thought it was pretty pointless to bring Marian back if she's gonna have barely any screen time and you're just gonna kill her off. Lindsay survives this movie, but again, she barely has any screen time. And she doesn't really do anything that contributes to the story. She doesn't do anything that contributes to the plot. So why are Marian and Lindsay in this film? I think they have no purpose being in this film. And you could make a similar argument to Halloween H2O. Like, why was Marian in that film? She was just killed in the first 10 minutes. But I think she had a point in being in Halloween H2O. The point of her being in Halloween H2O was to show that she took care of Loomis before he died, and how Michael found out about Laurie being alive. There was a point to that scene. And it was also a good scene in the beginning of Halloween H2O, but she has no purpose in Halloween Kills. I don't think there's... And she also has a very cringy line. I don't like to use the word cringy because I think it's overused and annoying, but I mean, that's really the only way to describe it. It's a cringy line. And so she points a gun at Michael and says, "This is for Dr. Loomis," and then the gun is clicking. It's not working. It doesn't have any bullets in it. And then she just gets killed. It was so bad. I mean... And first of all, the line doesn't even make sense, because in this timeline, we don't even know Loomis's demise. We don't know if he's killed by Michael. We don't know if he's just dies of natural causes. We assume he just dies of natural causes. But her saying this is for Dr. Loomis doesn't really make any sense in this timeline. Speaking of wasted characters, Sheriff Brackett comes back in this film, but he's not a sheriff. He's he's the hospital security guard. But Brackett's back, and he's extremely wasted. Again, barely has any screen time, like Marian and Lindsay, and he ultimately gets killed at the end of the movie, which I thought was kind of disrespectful to his character. I mean, I know Sheriff Brackett has never been a huge character in the Halloween series, but for a character that's been in the franchise since the beginning, for him to just have... His send-off is so... it's kind of forced. First of all, he gets one of the... possibly the worst line in the entire movie, and that's the callback to the first film where he says, "It's Halloween, everyone's entitled to one good scare." He says that to Michael Myers in this film, which I don't think makes any sense at all. It completely takes you... I think it took me out of the scene. I don't know about anybody else, but it took me out of the scene, and I hated it. He says that, and then he just gets his throat slit by Michael at the end, which... his death is so quick, it's not even... I thought it was kind of disrespectful to the character. And speaking of the end, Tommy also dies. He gets hit with a baseball bat that he was using to beat Michael, and Michael uses the baseball bat on him, which... I guess is kind of cool, but again, killing off Tommy in this film I felt was kind of dumb. I know he had more of a character than the other characters they brought back, but still, I mean, he's just gonna get killed off, and yeah, that's it. So now to the main characters, Laurie, Karen, and Alison. again, all three women do a great performance. They have a great performance, all of them, and you know, they do a good job. But Laurie has barely any screen time. She's in the hospital for most of the movie, which again, I get it. It makes sense realistically. You know, she's not able to go out and fight Michael. She's hurt. But like yeah, but still she barely has any screen time. Alison is awesome in this movie. Karen and Alison both, like, they're probably like the two best characters in this movie. Alison and Cameron go into the Myers house after they hear, something happening to Lonnie, as I said earlier. And they go in and Cameron gets killed by Michael, which he has, like, probably the best death in the entire film. It's extremely gory, and it's very over the top. Like it's amazing. However, again, another negative I have of this film is the stupid parts. And one of the stupid parts is in the Myers house when Cameron gets killed, which that's not the stupid part, but the stupid part is when Alison falls down the stairs and she's about to get killed by Michael, and Michael's about to kill her, and then Karen shows up and stabs Michael with a pitchfork. That part is extremely dumb to me because how did Karen know where Alison was? Like, she had no idea where Alison and Cameron and Lonnie were, so like how did she know they were at the Myers house? Like, did she just take a lucky guess and just be like, oh, I'm gonna go to the Myers house to see if he's there. Oh, well, yeah, it's a good thing I checked there because my daughter's about to get fucking killed. So, yeah, I don't like that part. I mean, everything leading up to that part was great, but like that part with Karen stabbing him and saving her was pretty dumb. But Karen then takes off Michael's mask and leads him into a trap, just like she did in the last film. And the trap is where the townspeople are all ganging up against Michael. And I was liking this scene, again, up until Brackett said that dumbass line. And Michael ends up killing a lot of them, including, like I said, Tommy and Lee Brackett. So Karen goes back to the house. This is where we get the ending of our film, which I think is the stupidest fucking ending I've ever seen. Not the stupidest ending I've ever seen. I'm exaggerating, but like it's so dumb. I mean, I did not like this ending. So after Michael, gets up from the townspeople beating on him and kills a bunch of them, he then goes back to the Myers house in like 5 fucking seconds or something. It's not 5 seconds, but like, you get what I'm trying to say. Like, it's so fast. Basically, Karen goes up the stairs to Judith's old room, and she's looking out the window, and keep in mind, the reason I found this ending dumb was because Alison and, a bunch of people are sitting on the steps outside the Myers house. They were sitting outside the front door on the steps. Like, there's a bunch of people there. So Karen heads upstairs, and the ending of the film is Karen's death by the hands of Michael. Michael kills Karen as he appears behind her in Judith's room, and I just think that is the most stupid ending. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I understand Michael being, like, stealthy. I mean, like, that's always been his thing ever since the original film. Like, he's disappeared within, like, the blink of an eye. Like, I get it. That's his thing. But, like, it just didn't make any sense considering that, there's a bunch of people outside his house, and I'm assuming he walked through the back door and then up the stairs to Judith's room. So how did no one hear him? No one noticed him. No one heard him go up the stairs. Like, really? I mean, I think it was dumb. But yeah, that's pretty much all my negatives. Again, like, there's a lot of positives, but for me, I think the negatives outweigh the positives just by a little bit. I have more problems with this film than I actually had with the last film in 2018. And yeah, so like I said, I know I said this film was pretty decent, and it is. Like, I think I'm in this review, I'm kind of making it out to be a horrible film, but it's not as bad as some people are making it out to be. I think there are definitely good things about this film, but there's just a little bit too much negatives for me to consider it a good film. I'm going to give Halloween Kills a 6 out of 10. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Halloween Kills. I know that review was all over the place. I mean, like I said, I didn't write a script for this video, so I was kind of talking about the movie out of order. I didn't really cover the movie in order of the scenes, but like I kind of just, you know, said my positives and negatives in like an out of order kind of thing. So sorry if that came off as confusing, but those are my thoughts. I'm going to give you guys my ranking now. So instead of just making a separate video of my updated ranking, I'm just going to give it now. So from my least favorite to my favorite, I think you know what my favorite is, but Halloween 6 is still the worst for me. I hate that film. It's awful. Next in line is Halloween Resurrection. We all know why that's bad. Then after that is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Again, we all know why that's bad. Next is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I don't hate it as much as other people. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but I don't think it's as bad as people say. I definitely think it has good things about it, but it's not a very good film. Next would be, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, next is the original Halloween 2. Yeah, I don't like Halloween 2 that much. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good things about it, but again, the twist of Laurie being Michael's sister is dumb to me. It's one of the worst things the series has ever did, and just for that reason alone, that's why I put it in the spot that I put it. Next up is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. It's an okay film. Again, it's like a pretty okay film. Then next I would put Halloween Kills. So Halloween Kills is number 6 for me in the top 12. After that would be Rob Zombie's Halloween. Again, I know I'm going to get hate for that, but I actually like Rob Zombie's Halloween. Then after that would be Halloween H2O, 20 years later. After that would be Halloween 2018. After that would be my favorite sequel, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, which I love. Again, it has some problems, but it's my favorite sequel. And then, of course, number 1 would be the original John Carpenter's Halloween. So if you've seen the movie, let me know what you thought. Let me know what your ranking of the movies is. I don't know when my next video is going to be. It might be... I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be pretty busy, actually, for the next month or so because school is probably going to get in the way. I've been busy with school lately, which is why I haven't been making videos. Well, part of the reason why I haven't been making videos. But yeah, I'm also taking driving lessons coming up soon, so that's also going to get in the way. So yeah, I don't know when my next video is going to be, like I said, but I'll try to make it so you guys don't have to wait like a month or two for the next video like you have been doing for like a while now. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night. Okay, that's actually not the end of this video. It's been a few hours, and I realized while editing the video that I forgot to say a few things about the movie. So I have 2 more positives and 2 more negatives to say. So another positive is that the Myers house is very accurate. I mean, like, it's probably the most accurate to the original 1978 film. I mean, like, they really got it right. I mean, the detail even is really, really well done. My second positive is that they really toned down the dumbass humor that was in the last film, which I am extremely grateful for. I mean, as you guys know, if you've seen my review of I think I might have said it in my review of the 2018 film, but I didn't like the humor in that film. I thought it was like very out of place, and yeah, but thankfully they've toned it down a lot. The humor's not like completely gone. Like, there's still a little bit of humor, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was in the last film. And another negative I have is something that's kind of minor. It's not like a huge problem, but it's just something that really annoyed me while watching it. A lot of the time when someone will reference something that happened in the 1978 film, they'll feel the need to show us a clip from the 1978 film with characters like talking over the events. And I just don't get why they do that. I mean, like, I think the majority of the people who are going to see this movie have seen the 1978 film at least, so you don't need to constantly be reminding us of what happened in that film. I mean, for example, when Laurie's talking about, I saw his face, and then they, show us her ripping Michael's mask off at the end of the first film, and it's just unnecessary. I mean, it doesn't flow well, I don't think, and yeah, it was not needed. And my other negative is that it's kind of a major one. I can't believe I forgot about this, but the angry mob that forms, the townspeople having enough of Michael, and, banding together to go fight him. I like the concept of that. I really do, but in this movie, it just doesn't make much sense because, they say they're fed up with Michael and stuff, and, after all these years, but this is only the second time he's went on a killing spree since 1978, since 40 years ago. So, now you're fed up now already? It just kind of seemed very weird considering, in this timeline, this is only the second time he's went on a killing spree. So it just felt weird. But yeah, those are the things I forgot to talk about. So yeah, I just want to get that out of the way. So I don't have to, discuss it in a later video and feel kind of weird. But, so yeah, again, thanks for watching. This video is actually going to end now. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good night.